Hello, I'm Brent Haseker with NetSource Technologies, website consultant here, and I'm speaking again with Veronica Buell, and she is our social media expert. Last 2 weeks we've been doing a series on social media and marketing on social media and talking about the different social media services that are out there that you can use. The first week we talked about Facebook.
Yep.
Last week we talked about LinkedIn, and this week we're going to talk about
Instagram.
Instagram. Okay, so let's just kind of jump right in and give us a quick overview of what Instagram is if people aren't familiar with it, and kind of go from there.
Instagram is a social media platform that uses mostly pictures.
Okay.
People post their pictures of whatever, it can be food,
Funny cat photos.
Funny cat photos, beautiful pictures.
Mm-hmm.
It's very visual. So it appeals to people who are very visual and artsy.
Okay. What is the primary demographic of Instagram as compared to Facebook? We've talked about Facebook being kind of all over. Everybody uses it.
Yeah.
And then LinkedIn was more geared towards professionals.
Yeah.
So who's kind of the demographic on Instagram?
In Instagram, we've got the predominant people that are there are between the ages of 18 and 29 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly women, but not by much.
Okay. So it's a much younger audience.
It's a much younger. Millennials really like Instagram a lot.
Okay.
They use it a lot. But people 65 and over, you're not going to see much of them there.
So if you're selling life insurance to seniors, you're probably
not your place. No. There's maybe 4% they're saying of people 65 and older that use Instagram.
Okay.
So not the best place to reach them, but a great place to reach. Even teens use it a lot. So anything marketing towards teens and
products for younger people.
Yeah, millennials and people up to about 35.
Okay.
40.
And I know you said that teens, a lot of women are on Instagram. What are some of the businesses that are best served? I know we kind of got a age range, but what are some of the actual businesses then that might be served well by using Instagram for social media?
Usually it's more of arts type of thing, more visual. So you're going to find travel and hospitality, fashion, health and wellness, arts and crafts, photography, autos, event planning, even food and beverage. Now, having said that, though, I have to put one little thing in there, is that even though that's generally who's geared towards it, any business can really advertise on this platform. The key here is to be very artistic when you do it.
Okay.
There are some really good examples of out-and-out businesses that are advertising really well on Instagram, but the photos that they're publishing are very artistic and very so you have to really think about what how you're
it's not just here's product photos, it's a creative way that you're using
a lot of great things like lifestyle photos and I could show you in a bit if you want. One of the best ones that I've seen so far is FedEx. Does a really good job at being artistic. I mean, they don't really fit into any of those things that I've told you were the industry's best served.
Okay.
But they advertise very artistically.
Okay. Well, I know you have a couple examples of them.
I don't know.
Go ahead and share that.
I don't know how well this will show up, but they tell a story when they do it too.
Okay.
So, like this little guy here, if you can see it, it's a little puppy in a FedEx box. And nothing is said when you look at this picture online. Nothing.
So that's where puppies come from, the FedEx driver.
FedEx brings them.
Oh, okay, great.
Yes. Awesome. And FedEx's little hashtag was Happy National Pet Day. So it had nothing to do with them other than their little logo there.
Right.
So that's a really smart way of doing it. I like this one because I'm an Anglophile. But again, picture of the London Bridge, and you just barely notice that a FedEx truck is going across. And that one was, I forget the phrase what that one was, but it had nothing again to do with use our services. It had everything to do with
just kind of being a visual with utilizing FedEx something people would say, hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, hey, there's a FedEx truck.
This is another one I liked that they did. Picture of them going across the street in New York City.
There's FedEx truck.
But you notice there's like leaves on the tree, and it's saying crossing over into autumn was the thing. So if you can place your products.
So it's about more about, in that case, more about awareness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's like an ordinary average day, but they're in it. So kind of showing you that they're everywhere and that they.
So would you say that that Instagram then is good for more for awareness than for actually promoting a product?
I think you can also promote a product very well, but the key here is to have very high quality pictures, very visual, very high quality, and pictures that tell a story. So maybe just having your product on the screen is not the best thing, but if you have a picture of somebody using the product in everyday life, showing how the product improves life.
So I think you had a stat that you shared with me about, I can't remember what the percentage offhand is, but if you put faces in your photos, that you tend to get a much higher engagement.
Yes, yes. And overall engagement is on Instagram is 10 times higher than Facebook, because people who use it are very visual people, so they'll grab it quicker.
So even though you've got less people on Instagram, you might not have as many people in your target audience on Instagram. If you're using Instagram, then those people that you're reaching are much more likely to engage with your product if you're doing a proper job of marketing on Instagram.
Yes. The key is always here is to be creative and to tell a story and show how your product makes life better. If you can do that artistically in a photo, people will follow and it'll get.
So there's approximately about 800 million people on Instagram right now.
Yes.
And it is owned by Facebook.
Yes, it is.
So 800, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's quite a few people.
Not at all.
So I would probably say Facebook's around 2 billion, somewhere around there. So it's almost half of what Facebook's audience is. And it's very engaged, and it can be if you've got staff in your office that are creatively minded, it might be a good way to utilize that staff's skill set to market on Facebook. Or if you're not very creatively minded, well, that's where we can help out with that as well. So tell us, what are some of the tools that Instagram gives us? Because I mean, we learned that Facebook's got a lot of tools that they offer. LinkedIn does. Does Instagram have as many tools that you can use, and what are those tools?
Currently, they have 2 different types of ads that you can do. One is called a carousel ad, and this allows people to, you upload a bunch of pictures and people can swipe through and see each picture or ad that you're doing. The other one's is story ads. These can be photos or videos, and they're basically what I was saying. You tell a story about your product. So you can post a video that tells the story of your product or your brand. Also, you can put together photos to do the same thing, and you can use those as ads as well. So they right now only have those 2. Because they are owned by Facebook, I'm expecting more options to come.
And it's pretty integrated with Facebook as well. So if you're marketing on Facebook, it's easy to push some of that stuff out to Instagram.
Within Facebook's Business Manager, you can have the option to do the advertising through Instagram as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And what are some of the techniques that you would use when marketing on Facebook? I know you showed us some of the photos that what FedEx is doing. What are some of the best practices in addition, or maybe you already covered everything and being creative and telling a story with the photos, but is there any other best practices that somebody should keep in mind?
Yes. Always, no matter what you're doing, being creative and telling a story is what you got to always keep top of mind when you're working with Instagram.
Sure.
The other thing to remember is that anything that you do on Instagram, make sure you cross-promote it with other social media platforms. Link it, post it on Facebook and say, hey, check out my Instagram, and tweet it and have people say, hey, check out my Instagram. This gets more followers on your Instagram, plus it also gets you people that you may not have touched through Instagram. So,
Mhm.
and that's with any social media platform. If you do something on Facebook, then, you know, link it on all your social media.
Right.
So that's
Right.
just one of the basic ones. The other thing is don't overpost. Some people, and this again goes for all social media, is some people think that in order to be found or to be followed or to get a brand image, you got to keep posting and posting and posting. The more you post, the better.
Mhm.
That actually can be damaging, because after a while, people get tired of seeing you taking up their
And especially if
newsfeed.
it's the same post over and
Exactly.
over. I see that a lot, and it's like, I'm going to unfollow that.
Yeah, or it's not creative, or
Yeah.
it just seems like it's always
Spammy.
salesy or
Yeah.
spammy. So the thing with Instagram especially, but with all social media, but especially with Instagram because it's so visual,
Mhm.
Quality over quantity, always.
Okay.
If you don't have something good to say or something creative or, you know, of quality to show, it's best not to post at all.
Okay.
Wait until you get something that's really good and then do it. I would say with most things, try posting 2 times a day on Instagram first.
Okay.
See which kind of reaction you're getting, and you can add a few more. There, with all social media, there comes a point where you post too much and you'll know it because you'll start getting less interaction.
Right, less engagement.
Less engagement.
So kind of making sure you're monitoring how
Yeah.
your posts are doing and then responding based on
Right,
that.
and notice which ones you're doing really well on, which ones people are going crazy about, and then do more of that.
Okay.
More of that type of thing.
Right.
Not the same thing, obviously, over and over, but more of that type of thing.
Right.
Like, obviously, FedEx has found something great that they do,
Mhm.
is that they put themselves in the photo, but the story, you barely notice they're there.
Right.
But it works really well.
And a lot of people share their stuff.
Yeah, and they comment on it, and it's really a good method to do
Right.
it. So
And
find
good
something.
awareness, like we mentioned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
good
find
awareness.
something like that. Other thing is talk to your followers. When somebody likes your picture or comments or something, take a few seconds to respond to what they're saying, or even just to say thank you.
Mhm.
You know, we appreciate you stopping by, and I hope
Mhm.
you keep commenting and sharing, and
Stay engaged with them as
yes.
they stay engaged with you.
Exactly.
Right.
And show them that you're really there,
Mhm.
and, that you're really paying attention
Right.
to them. And that's very important. And then another thing is hashtags. Hashtags are, for those of you who don't know, they're the little $ thingy, or if you're a musician, they're the sharp sign.
Yeah.
So these are when you coin a phrase, basically. I mean, obviously, if you go to FedEx, they have several of them, but and you should have more than just one, but you should have one that represents your brand. FedEx obviously has hashtag FedEx.
Mhm.
Nike has hashtag Just Do It.
I think you said $, so just to clarify, it's the
Oh, I said a dollar
yeah. There you
sign.
go. The pound sign or
I
the
meant
number
pound
sign.
Number sign.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't know what I'm.
Yeah. Or as she had mentioned, if you're a musician, it's the sharp sign. So that would be the key of G, right? Okay. A little inside humor for musicians out
Yeah,
there.
you go.
Okay.
We're looking at you.
Yeah.
So hashtags are basically just a phrase or a catch, and you should have several hashtags.
Mhm.
You should have one that represents your brand. Like I said, Nike does Just Do It. They also have Nike, just plain old Nike. So you should generally have one that's, hashtag your brand. And then the good way to use these too is have a contest, or like, we'll just use Nike. The hashtag
Mhm.
Just Do It. They encourage their followers to show them using their brand and use that hashtag Just Do It.
Mhm.
What that does is it gets your followers involved with you, first of all, but also when they do that Just Do It tag, they show up in your feed.
Okay.
So the more you do it and keep it consistent, the more you'll get followers and more awareness and stuff.
Right.
So you should always do that.
If you're going to use a hashtag, use it a lot. Don't just throw it out there.
Yeah, if you use it once, it's never going to catch on.
Right.
So
Okay.
always make sure that you have it on your photos, your brand's hashtag, and if it's a contest or something that you or something special, Nike for the holidays or something like that, use it and get your followers involved.
Okay. Okay.
So that's another thing.
Now I have an Instagram account,
Mhm.
but I obviously don't fall within the typical demographics. So I actually don't use it that often.
See?
Yeah, but I have one, and I've posted at least 2 or 3 photos, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now I know you can also do video on
Yes.
Instagram in addition to photos.
Mhm.
Is there a preference that, because Facebook, everything's kind of moving more towards video. Is that
Yes.
happening on Instagram?
It's funny because on Instagram, the majority of people still want photos.
Okay.
Videos still, people are doing videos on there and they do okay, but I think just the means of what type of social media Instagram is, people are looking for photos.
It's kind of built on photos.
Yeah.
Or at least short videos if you're going to do
Yeah,
videos,
very
right?
short. It's not a place to put like a long 2-minute video or anything. Just do little brief snippet videos, you know, those cute little ones. Those are good. But yeah, it's kind of interesting because whereas all the other social media is kind of going towards videos, everybody gets crazy about videos. Instagram is still pretty straightforward with its photos. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good to know. Anything else?
Let's see. Another thing to do, just one more thing, is to repost content from other people. On Instagram, like anything else, you can follow other brands and people. If you see something that is relevant to your audience and you like what's said about it, repost it on your Instagram. This does a couple of things. First of all, it exposes content to your followers that they're interested in. It also gets the attention of the person that you're reposting, and they may actually, if they like your stuff, they may start reposting your stuff to their audience. Okay. So it causes a cross, I don't know, pollination, if you want, you know, where everybody can, you're sharing your audiences, basically. So that's always a good thing to do as well. Okay, great. So. Okay, well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here, at least a good overview of Instagram. If it's a service that you think, hey, this might work for my business, but I'm not quite sure I'm creative enough or have the time to, put towards being creative and getting some clever photos and things like that I can use for marketing, feel free to give us a call. We'd be happy to help out. Or if you just have any other questions on Instagram or any of the other social media services that are out there, we'd be happy to, happy to speak with you. Facebook Live. So feel free to give us a call. The number to reach us is 1-800-709-3240. And again, I'm Brent Haysicker, website consultant here at NetSource, and this is Veronica Buell. And
you are?
I'm social media specialist.
There we go. So feel free to give us a call at that number, or you can also view us online at NetSource Inc. That's netsourceinc.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.